Om Shanti, good morning. So, as we have been discussing Murli of 4th October 81, that what is the importance of the power of thought. I like this when Baba said that you have to become a detached observer in every thought. And also how constantly Baba is an almighty authority. So we need to be master almighty authority and master son of knowledge, which means full of virtues, powers, and knowledge. All the three attainments which we have: knowledge, virtues, and powers. There was a good discussion which we had yesterday of like coming into the golden age, at what time, and what can we do to increase our pad, our position, our status in the golden age. So let's see what Baba has to say today to the parties. So Baba starts with meeting the teachers. I'll just share the screen. So you're a group of sevadharis. Teachers are servers. Baba also first comes here as the server. That's the title. Instead of saying servant, in the West they call server because that doesn't look a bit derogatory. The server is a little bit polished version of being a servant that way. And Baba says that I'm your most obedient, excuse me, servant. The greatest title that Baba gives himself is the world server. I hope the volume is okay now. Whatever title the father has, that title also belongs to you children. When you consider yourself to be a server, you automatically become free from obstacles. Because a server means a renunciate and a tapasvi soul. These three subjects, not subjects, sorry, these three words come together related to the fourth subject, Tyag, Tapasya, and Seva. And Baba always links these together, that if you have Tyag, that is renunciation, then you can become a Tapasvi. And if you can do then Tapasya, then you are really a true server. And Tyag of what? Beautiful things Baba has said in the Avyak Muli, it reminds me. Renunciation of body consciousness, that's the most important one. And in the body, everything comes, bodily beings, the things related to the body, everything. So body consciousness, renunciation of that, and tapasya is of being soul conscious. So that tapasya. So once we are able to do renunciation of the body consciousness and tapasya of being soul conscious always, automatically service is in that. So beautifully, Baba has said that when you consider yourself to be a server, you automatically become free from obstacles. So seva, aage you can put the word nirvighan. So nirvighan sevadhari, because a server means a renunciate and a tapasvi soul. And where you have renunciation and perform tapasya, fortune comes to you as your servant. Baba says that piche piche safalta aayegi. You don't have to go behind success. Success is there. It is just present. It just follows you as a servant. So all of you are sevadharis, aren't you? Don't consider yourself to be a teacher, but consider yourself to be a server. Otherwise, when you consider yourself to be a teacher, new souls who come will progress a little bit, but will then also begin to think of themselves as teachers, right? This is what happens. We send the vibration. Whatever we think, it vibrates as a vibration into the atmosphere, and that's what Baba says, Vayu Mandal Banate. So if I want to think I am a teacher, the students also will think that. When you consider yourself to be a teacher, you have a subtle desire of being given the gaddi or a position. And this too is one of Maya's biggest obstacles. Rather, I must say, the most biggest obstacle is name fame, naam man shan ki bhook. Even I need to have a seat. Even they should call me on the stage, so on and so forth. When you are a teacher, you want a seat and you want respect and honor. But servers are those who give, not those who take, right? So this is also a subtle sanskar of taking. When you instrument souls consider yourselves to be servers, others too will automatically remain servers when they see you. Then there will be the atmosphere of renunciation and tapasya naturally everywhere. Yesterday we discussed this as well, that what is in my consciousness while traveling. If Baba is there, he's my companion, I'm in his company always. The people around will also feel that. As I told you, the example of that sister, where the brother was having a very bad vision towards that sister, but he couldn't do anything because he saw that she was with someone more powerful. So, same thing, whatever we think, our attitude develops, and then that exudes the vibration in the atmosphere, and people sense that. So, automatically, if I am a server, the vibration of being a server goes into the atmosphere, and the students of the center also feel the same. And then, when you have this atmosphere of renunciation and tapasya, your stage will constantly remain free from obstacles. Nirvighan. And when we speak of Vibghan obstacles, September month has started. What does it remind you all? You can write down in the chat box which deity who's being invoked, because 7th September you'll start in the path of devotion. They start worshipping him for next 10 to 12 days, right? I'm sure you know who I'm speaking about. Ganesh, Ganpati, who's thought to be the Vigna Vinashak, the destroyer of all obstacles. So all of you are servers, aren't you? When you consider yourselves to be teachers, your students will say that they are no less. When you consider yourselves to be servers, all of you become number one and equal to one another. Therefore, consider your title to be a server and continue to make progress. Because the root of all obstacles is taking the stage and considering yourself to be a teacher. So, very beautifully put up by Baba. The root of all obstacles which we are having is this mepan, the I-ness. I want the stage, I want this, I want that. All these ichhas, which Baba says, all these desires. And you know, this avyakt the signal is about being free from desires, how to experience a stage of being free from desires. Ichha matram avidya. And considering yourself to be a teacher, then you are following the teacher and not following the father. So that means Baba says you're just following my one role of being a teacher, but you're not following the father. You're progressing, but you must now continue to progress using the right method. When you don't use the right method, there are greater problems as your number grows. Therefore, become those who bring about expansion by using the right method, which Baba says, Vidhi se Siddhi. If you use the proper right method, you get perfect success. The efforts you're making are very good. Baba is happy with the efforts of the teachers. Meeting a group, do all of you experience the form of an embodiment of happiness while staying in the awareness of Baba, who's the ocean of happiness? All of you are the children of the ocean of happiness. And just as the Father is the ocean of happiness, so you children should be embodiments of happiness. Sukh Swarup. Baba is the Sukha Sagar. Your masters. Although you constantly live in the world of sorrow, you're embodiments of happiness. He's saying again, you're masters. You don't experience any waves of sorrow, do you? Let's ask ourselves. Do we still experience waves of sorrow coming and going? We know that every time we are not happy, but every time at least, even if we are not happy, but instead of happiness, what is there? Is it just a neutral stage where you're not happy? No, you're sorrowful, but there shouldn't be sorrow at least because Brahmin dictionary doesn't have the word sorrow, doesn't have the word impossible. And Baba says, after becoming a Brahmin, how can there be any sorrow in your life? So, not even a wave of sorrow should touch you. So, no matter how much influence there is of peacelessness and sorrow in the world, you remain loving and detached. Nyara Pyara. First, actually, is Pyara and then Nyara. But usually, Baba says, if you want to become loving, you have to get detached first because you're with the ocean of happiness. So, do you experience yourself to be happy and constantly swinging in the swing of happiness, which Baba usually says as Ati Indriya Sukha Jhula, usme jhulte raho. There shouldn't be any sorrow even in your thoughts because you masters who are the children of ocean of happiness should not have any thoughts of sorrow, not even a trace, right? You souls have left the world of sorrow now and have entered the confluence age. You've left the shores of the old world, haven't you? दुख की दुनिया से किनारा कर चुके हैं या छोड़ चुके हैं पुरानी दुनिया. Have you left them or you're still in the world of sorrow? Because if a wave is coming, which means I'm getting pulled into that world. So you don't have any strings that are still tied, do you? Have all your strings been cut? Let's check. What is it that is making me sorrow? Try to just pause for a minute and check what is the thought which I have created. The thought doesn't come. I have created that thought, and that thought is damaging. It's making me feel sorrowful. So I have to really immediately rectify, correct that thought that very moment so that it doesn't go on and on. Because one thought leads to endless thoughts. We all of us are experienced, we know that. So since all your strings have been cut now, you must continue to move along in the waves of the ocean of happiness. So I know it's a very small meeting of Babdada. Since we have a blessing and slogan, I would just like to read it since we have time. So the blessing, though it's not a part of this Murli, but everything which is said by Baba is something which we have to imbibe. And at whatever stage it comes, we just have to accept it. So let's see what the blessing is here from this today's Avyakt Murli, that may you be loved by everyone and with your stage of having positive thoughts for others, receive everyone's cooperation. This Mama used to say, the slogan in Hindi is Snehi Bhava, Sayogi Bhava. How will I know that I'm able to love someone? It's my cooperation. If I'm able to cooperate with everyone, which means I am loving by nature. And this blessing is here because it is in relation to creating positive thoughts for others. Because this Murli is all about the importance of power of thought. The explanation here, Baba says that everyone has love in their heart for souls who have positive thoughts for others, and that love makes them cooperative. So when people have love, they are ready to give you their time and wealth and cooperate with you. Therefore, a soul who has positive thoughts for others would make others loving, and that love would make them surrender and cooperate with you in every way. Therefore, constantly remain full of positive thoughts for your original self and also for others, and thus make everyone loving and cooperative, Snehi and Sayogi. And the slogan is, an heir is one who always says, Ji Hazur, Hazir. It means, yes, my Lord, I'm present in every task. That is a true heir, true Varis, what we say, who's present always. Ji Hazur, Hazir. So with this, I'll stop sharing the screen and you'll have a lot of time today for discussion. Spend a minute in silence and then you all can start sharing. You can start sharing.
Shanti. Good morning. My Baba says, in today's Avyasmiti, my Baba says that the root of all obstacles is the minus. My pan stage. Shanti.
Om Shanti, wonderful Murli. The soul consciousness stage, when we consider ourselves to be the soul, the point form, then the bondage free status automatically is attained. The soul is bondage free, and there lies the joy, the supersensuous pleasures, supersensuous happiness, bliss. And whereas any iota of even trace of body consciousness brings the sorrow. So if the soul is experiencing sorrow, that means there is some connectivity, some connection with the body, some form of body consciousness is still there, and that's a checking point. So that's a takeaway. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, good morning. I want to experiment again and again. Baba says Brahmin children cannot be sorrowful. They are the master attainers of everything. They have to be happy at all moments. I would still like to go ahead with this concept throughout and experiment. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, brother. I was just thinking about Baba speaking about the root cause of obstacles. See, generally we know the root cause of any problem is ignorance. If we don't know what was the cause of the problem, then how can I solve it? And the root cause generally it is we fail to see our own inner world of thoughts, its power. And so we try to live and rule what we call it as in a state of unawareness. As already yesterday it was discussed about ordinary, like we waste our time in the thoughts are necessary, but a lot of time is wasted in those necessary thoughts. And so the root of all problems is lack of awareness, essence of all wisdom. But over here, Baba speaking to the teachers group, if you see, he says the root of all problems is taking the stage and considering yourself to be a teacher. So even a teacher who may be a teacher sitting on a gaddi or taking teacher, she should consider herself as an instrument. But here, this considering yourself to be a teacher is the first root cause. Then also following the teacher and not following the father is also a root of all obstacles. Manujma, if you could just throw some more root on this line, because this is primarily Baba, though he's speaking about teachers. I think it's a general thing stand where Baba is saying a teacher considering herself to be a teacher, and a student following the teacher, not following the father. So twin reasons he has given. If you could further put it in simple words, whatever Baba wants to say over here, it would be nice.
Okay. Thank you for your question as always. So, yes, it's Baba. I'll give an example here of a household where if there's a daughter-in-law and a daughter. So if the mother-in-law wants to give a teaching to the daughter-in-law, she directly won't say. She'll tell her daughter, considering that daughter, and she'll give a signal to her that you have to do this, and then the daughter-in-law gets a message. So same thing here is, I'm not speaking that we are daughter-in-laws or daughters. I'm just saying that Baba wants to give all of us the message. So though he's got the teachers here, because he's addressing a group of teachers, but this message is for everyone. Obviously, yes, as you also mentioned, that all of us, when we start doing service, and particularly so the Vacha Seva, when we start maybe explaining either in museums or in exhibitions, or even for that matter, trying to help anyone in doing the 7-day Raj Yoga course, and when we start preaching, which means giving the knowledge through the mouth, through the voice, and that subtle consciousness that I am a teacher can start coming in. So Baba said here very nicely that don't become teachers. And even the teachers, the BK teachers here, all of us, all the senior instruments, Brijman Bhai, Asha Didi, all of them, Jayanti Didi, I remember, all of them, I mean, they are so humble, down to earth. They never consider themselves, despite they giving good lectures and their churnings are fantastic, but they've never considered themselves to be teachers. But the very fact is they have inculcated all those things as a student, as a best or perfect Rajyogi student, and that's the reason they have become good teachers. And that's what they say. A good teacher is the one who's actually a good student first. So all of us, we need to really be good students. This consciousness of I, and this is just one Baba said about getting a stage on the, being on the forefront, calling me for some uh, inauguration, and thereby then felicitating me with some bouquets, vases, so on and so forth. And if someone, we have to check it, forget the teachers, we have to check that at any BK gathering or anywhere, even if we go to Madhuban, wherever we are, if we don't get the seat which we want, if we don't get to sit in the front, I'm just giving an example, there could be many such examples, then what is that consciousness? Do I feel, oh, I'm not being respected, I'm so senior, I'm so many years into Gyan, so on and so forth, and still I'm not able to get that position there. People don't recognize me, acknowledge me. It's a big list, big Maya, big time Maya. So everyone has to check this map and this consciousness. So therefore, as I said before, that these are all obstacles. This is Maya coming big time, though we call it subtle forms of Maya, but this is big time Maya. And this is a big obstacle for a Raj Yogi, for a server who wants to serve. A server can't have this consciousness of I being a teacher. It's a server, he's a server. And therefore the Baba has explained the foundation as has been discussed by a few other people. About Brother Om also mentioned that body consciousness and soul consciousness. So that's what Tyag Tapasya Seva. The more and more I renunciate, I become a renunciate, whereby renouncing body consciousness, traces of it, not in a big form now, traces of it in all these forms, I-ness, my-ness, all those things, the more we can become tapasvis, which means we can then situate ourselves in soul consciousness, and then automatically my life becomes a service, an obstacle-free service, as Baba said today. So everything is boils down to thoughts. What am I thinking inside? This is all generates waste. All these things, I didn't get this, I didn't get this position, this stage, so it's all a waste. It adds to the burden of the soul, and the soul can't fly then, right? Okay.
So you can say that once we connect ourselves to our inner world of thoughts,
Mhm.
and also remember, as in this Murli, of course, Baba has said a server, that is Sevadari. I always like Baba's word as Karanhar. So if you
Yeah.
think yourself as a Karanhar and look at the Karavanhar, not at the horizontal level servers, the Sevadari, any instruments, but look at the one who made you a Sevadari, one who has made you an instrument. So can we generalize it like this?
Yes, of course.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you. So I think if there are no more sharings, then we could go in for early meditation. Hope that's okay, organizers.
Manoj bhai, one more, if suppose no one is
Okay.
asking. When you spoke about that happiness, you spoke something about stage of a Brahmin. And I remember even in the Sunday Murli, Baba had given so many things. Brahmin is special, Brahmin is this and all. And you connected when you said that Brahmin means happiness. A Brahmin means a special. So a little more if you could just give, because that and the blessing, as you rightly said, was connected. Like a Brahmin gets cooperation from others. A Brahmin should have a stage of positive thoughts. So this group and this blessing, if you can just bring it together uh, with regard to ocean happiness and a Brahmin.
Okay, so Baba says in the Sakar Murlis that many times he says about Khushi jaisi khurak nahi. I mean, khurak, I don't know what to translate exactly in English. One of the most uh, powerful things which in childhood, when we are serving a child, sort of when a child is being fed from the mother, it says khurak. We say not food, we say khurak, which means something more nutritious. So khushi jaisi khurak nahi, Baba says. Then Baba says khushi jaisa khazana nahi. It's it's one of the most important wealth which Brahmins have. That is happiness. And then Baba says the third thing is dil khush mithai, which means it is that sweet or that toli which makes your heart cool down and please your heart. So Baba gives all these corollaries when it comes to happiness. Khushi jaisi खुराक, खुशी जैसा खजाना, खुश नसीब, खुश नुमा. So many things, because I think the most important realization which I have is that coming into knowledge, I mean, I always I'm in awe of Brahma Kumaris, because I remember the first important lesson which I have learned here is that I am a soul, which I didn't know before. Obviously, people do say I am a soul, I am a soul, but the true soul consciousness and then supreme soul consciousness, you get it here only. And such a detailed explanation of I, the soul, being mind, intellect, and sanskars, MIS, what we say in English. So this was really amazing when it was revealed to me, and that's what has still made me stuck to the Brahma Kumaris, because I feel this knowledge no one has given, and this only the Supreme Soul can give. So the moment I get this knowledge of I am the soul, it immediately I think it's ignites a spark of happiness within you, that it gives you all the attainments. It immediately makes you feel that you are eternal. So the sorrow of leaving the body, sorrow of death, all those sorrows are just annihilated. They are just gone in a second. So Baba says that in Hindi, I'll say first, Brahman banke agar khush nahi rahe to kya kiya? That's what Baba says, that how can I lose my happiness with every small thing? Because Maya is waiting there to snatch away my happiness. With anything, every small thing, every at the drop of, as we say in English, the expression at the drop of a hat, people tend to lose their happiness. So we need to be careful. And actually, it is not something which will come from outside. As Baba says, it is your own creation, and it is your creation of thoughts. So I have to consciously keep creating thoughts of happiness, thoughts of goodness, positive thoughts. Only then will I be able to feel happy. So we have to keep giving this donation of happiness also to each other, because Baba says Brahmins don't give knowledge to each other, because if I as a Brahmin want to give another Brahmin knowledge, he'll say, I know everything. You better don't give me, Baba is giving me, right? But what can we give to each other? As Baba says, sahyog, cooperation. So let's also give this cooperation of happiness to each other, I feel. Let's be so happy and spread the vibration of happiness. And we know our seniors, particularly Dadi Janki. The moment she used to come to the Diamond Hall, it was a big roar from her side. Om Shanti thrice, and the entire vibration used to change. She was a powerful soul. So many things had happened to her body as well. I mean, though she didn't have any cancer as such, but she was undergoing a lot of other problems with the stomach, a chronic gastritis, what we say, her stomach, and she was operated once or twice for that, due to which she wasn't able to wear a sari, and that she didn't like it because the doctor told her you can't tuck your sari uh, at the abdomen level, because it's been operated, it's a bit tender, and then you'll get more pain. And then she had this grudge all the time in her life that, oh, I can't wear a sari. Well, that's destiny. She accepted that. But what I'm trying to say here is, all these seniors, I'm just taking one example of Dadi Janki. You see how Dadi Gulzar, her happiness was of a different type. Her happiness was of fully being stable. Such a stable person we have never seen. So much of stability. I mean, she didn't show it from her face, the ha 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 happiness, but her happiness was stability, always being in the same stage, come what may. So we have to really learn from these seniors, and I think that's what I wanted to share. That happiness, at whatever cost, Baba says you can't lose your happiness, because that's one treasure which all the time Maya is waiting there to just snatch it away from you. And that's the first thing which I feel gets lost. When something up and down happens, that's the first uh, virtue or the value of the soul which goes away. So we need to make sure we hold on to that as tightly as we can. Okay.
Thank you, brother.
Okay. Right. So let's see what is there in the chat. Nourishment and true. Yeah. Okay. So any other sharings? Om Bhai is saying happiness and innate virtue of my eternal form. Yeah. Of my Adi Swarup. Sorry, Anadi Swarup. Eternal is Anadi Swarup. Right. Okay. So let's, I think, 7. Okay. All good to go for some meditation.
Yes, Manoj bhai.
Yes. Thank you. So let's begin. So as we sit back and relax, focusing on the conscient energy that I am, the beautiful sparkle of light that I am. And let us take this theme from today's Murli sharing, that I am a true server. What is it to be a true server? A true renunciate and a true tapasvi is a true server. And let's look at our renunciation. To what extent have we fully renounced this consciousness of the body and the bodily associates? The I-ness and the my-ness, मैं और मेरा. Has this I and my-ness been fully surrendered to Baba? Ask oneself. What is it that still keeps me pulled towards this consciousness of being a body? And as Baba says, many levels of renunciation. The highest form being Tyag Karma Tyag, which means I have renounced this. I don't even get a thought that I have renounced. Renunciation of this thought that I have renounced. That is the true highest level of renunciation. And more I am able to renounce, the next step of tapasya automatically sets in. As Baba says, visualize yourself in this cave of tapasya. In the cave of introversion, whereby all my sense organs are taken inward, introverted, and I sit on the seat, on the throne of self-awareness. Maintaining this posture of full concentration, of I being the soul energy. Automatically the bodily consciousness withers away. And what a beautiful feeling it is. I, the soul, connected to the Supreme Soul. And just as my Baba is the world's most obedient servant, so I am Bab Saman, also trying to be the master server for everyone. And in this awareness, as we move today in the consciousness of being a server for everyone, let us see how we remain obstacle proof in the entire day. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Manoj Bhai. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Till that time, have a nice day.